Heritage Foundation has offered to work with Peruvian authorities to improve conditions at Machu Picchu, which faces increasing overcrowding.
Russian President Vladimir Putin does not want to negotiate with Europe, Ukraine's former Prime Minister Arseniy Yatsenyuk told Euronews. The European Commission hit Chinese online retailer Temu with a €200 million fine on Thursday.
US and Iranian negotiators have reached a tentative framework agreement to extend the Iran's war's ceasefire by 60 days and launch negotiations on Iran's nuclear program towards a final deal. The tentative framework agreement was confirmed by Vice President J.D. Vance late Thursday, but Vance said it was unclear if President Donald Trump would approve of it.
Part of what we're trying to do here is really set the stage for a successful negotiation. There are certain details that are going to have to be figured out that are going to take a little bit of time to figure out. So there are a lot of details to work out, but what I mean is I think we're making progress. We're getting to a point where we could potentially sit down and settle these issues, but that requires us to make a little bit more progress. I can't guarantee that we're going to get there, but right now I feel pretty good about it.
The emerging memorandum of understanding came as the fragile ceasefire in the war appeared to be wavering following renewed exchange of fire between both sides this week. According to reports, a finalized deal would also include a reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, whose months-long closure by Tehran has led to a push-up in energy prices and disruption of global supply chains.
Ukraine plans to buy up to 20 fighter jets, while Sweden will donate 16 older models to boost its air defense, the two countries said on Thursday. The announcement was made during a surprise visit by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Zelensky said the combat aircraft will be especially helpful in stopping Russian planes that launch powerful glide bombs at Ukraine.
These jets, Gripens, with specific weapons, especially meteors, missiles, and etc., which can destroy 200 kilometers plus. So we think that we will push out these jets, Russian jets, and they will not be able to use massively aerial bombs.
Meanwhile, Sweden's Prime Minister says the country wants to learn from Ukraine's cutting-edge drone expertise.
Ukraine right now has the most advanced capacity to deal with drone wars in Europe, and we are extremely eager to learn from Ukraine.
The 16 donated aircraft will be delivered in early 2027, Christensen said. Ukraine plans to allocate €2.5 billion from an EU loan for the new aircraft. This is Sweden's 22nd military aid package to Ukraine, worth a total of €2.3 billion, Sweden said.
Norwegian Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Støre was in Paris on Wednesday to meet with French President Emmanuel Macron and seal a new bilateral defense agreement. The French and Norwegian defense ministers formalized the Narvik Agreement, designed to strengthen military cooperation between the two countries. It notably includes a mutual assistance clause. The agreement also provides for the possibility of temporarily hosting the French Strategic Air Force in partner countries.
La Norvège, partenaire géographique et stratégique clé avec lequel nous avions déjà des coopérations importantes pour assurer la protection du territoire allié face aux menaces extérieures, représentera une forte valeur ajoutée pour cette dissuasion avancée.
For his part, the Norwegian Prime Minister welcomed the French President's initiative.
For many years, French nuclear weapons were exclusively linked to France's own security. France is now opening up dialogue with close allies on how their nuclear weapons also can contribute to European security, broad sense, and deterrence against military threats.
In a speech delivered in early March at the Ilong strategic base near Brest, Emmanuel Macron presented an updated version of France's nuclear doctrine. The head of state spoke of advanced deterrence involving several willing European countries, while making it clear that the final decision would remain exclusively French. 8 countries immediately joined this initiative: Germany, Poland, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, Belgium, Greece, Sweden and Denmark.
Українськими авіакомпаніями
Russian President Vladimir Putin does not want to negotiate with Europe, Ukraine's former Prime Minister Arseniy Yatsenyuk told Euronews.
Putin is not eager. He's not ready for any kind of talks at this particular juncture. Maybe he would accept some kind of negotiator with the only very simple and obvious reason, to buy time and once again to outwait and to cheat us.
Meanwhile, Europeans haven't decided yet who could be the EU negotiator.
I'm not sure that Putin is ready to accept anyone. What Putin is ready to accept, he is ready to accept Ukraine's and actually European surrender. And we have to realize this. It is not about the names. It's not about some kind of international or domestic politics. It is about policy. What kind of policy we're going to pursue towards Russia. The only language Putin understands is the language of force and strength.
High Representative Kaja Kallas stressed Europeans should agree first on their core requests to Russia before considering talking to Moscow. The matter is set to be on the agenda of an informal meeting of European foreign affairs ministers on Thursday.
Italian authorities have seized more than 200 million euros in assets linked to the late mafia boss Matteo Messina Denaro's drug trafficking network. The seizure included more than 12 kilos in gold, millions in cash, premium watches and some 20 luxury properties, investigators said. Prosecutors described Thursday as a blow to the Sicilian mafia's attempt to rebuild its financial power.
Significa appunto di continuare in un processo di disarticolazione necessario per impedire la formazione di strutture nuovamente in grado di proiettare su scala globale l'intera forza intimidatrice, l'intera capacità di condizionamento economico e sociale che è propria di Cosa Nostra.
Messina Denaro died in a prison hospital some 9 months after he was arrested in January 2023, ending 3 decades as a fugitive. More than 150 Italian financial police officers carried out searches in Italy and abroad, including in Andorra, Gibraltar, the Cayman Islands, Switzerland, Lebanon, Monaco and Spain.
The European Commission hit Chinese online retailer Temu with a 200 million euros fine on Thursday. The EU investigation found the e-commerce giant didn't do enough to protect consumers from illegal products.
Temu reaches 130 million consumers in the European Union, but the company has not properly assessed the risks of illegal products being sold on its marketplace. What products are we talking about? Dangerous toys for kids, small electronics without proper label, clothes and jewelry containing harmful chemicals, to name just a few.
Preliminary findings last year revealed Temu was exposing consumers to dangerous products such as harmful baby toys and faulty chargers. The bloc issued the penalty under the Digital Services Act, or DSA, a rule book that requires online platforms to protect internet users from harmful content or dodgy goods. Temu did not respond immediately to a request for comment.
A global heritage foundation has offered to work with Peruvian authorities to improve conditions at Machu Picchu. The iconic tourist destination is a bucket list item for many, but tourists are increasingly facing more overcrowding, long queues, and unreliable transport services. In September, the foundation behind the list of the 7 world wonders warned that Machu Picchu's status as one of those wonders is at risk. Now they're offering to help.
Since then, sadly, unfortunately, but not surprisingly, due to the political quasi-paralysis in Peru, we have seen no progress. So we've come back to Lima to advance the discussions now that the democratic process is really reaching a critical positive point, we hope, with a solution and a new leadership. And we hope to be able to work with the new leadership once it's in place to find a positive outcome for Machu Picchu as one of the new 7 wonders of the world.
The foundation said it is not currently considering stripping Machu Picchu of its Wonder of the World designation, but would like to see improvements to the site.